Welcome, everybody. It's Saturday night. We are all alive, and it is our time for you, the Global Peace Tribe. Welcome, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us. I really want to appreciate all the people that come into our Zoom room show. And for those of you that are watching now live on Facebook, whether you're watching the replay or you're with us live, please come on into the Zoom room with us. It's really wonderful to have you with us because it's easier for you to chat with us, to connect to all of our presenters, and we have amazing presenters here tonight. So many beautiful, talented, wise souls all coming together to celebrate with us, to really create coherence. You're going to be hearing a lot about that word. I guess we're going to have a Mr. Rogers moment. Our word for the day is coherence. And we're going to be really experiencing beautiful coherence with amazing presenters, musicians, Teresa Collins, of course, who's our co-host. So please come on in and join us. And it's easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. Again, all of you watching on Facebook, either live or even if you're watching the recording or the replay, go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. And a lot of wonderful things happen when you do that. You now can come into the Zoom room where we can interact with you beautifully. We also send out on Monday an email to just our people that gives you the access to not just the previous Saturday Night Live, but all 60 previous shows we've done. We've done 60 of these, and you know what? They're all amazing. And so you might go through and say, wow, I really want to see the one on optimum health with Deepak Chopra. Or maybe I really want to see some Indigenous elders' wisdom. Or maybe I really want to go on how I can improve my relationships. So we have all these wonderful topics and all these best speakers and luminaries talking about those topics. And you can go back and access it by letting us get your email address. Also, we then send out a reminder about the upcoming shows. So come join us. If you're watching, you are part of the Global Peace Tribe, and we want you to be with us. I want to thank Wendy Grace, a beloved member of our Global Peace Tribe. She is our sponsor for the show, and it's going to be an amazing show, everybody. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host. We have two co-hosts tonight, Debra and, of course, Teresa Collins. But to tell us all about what's coming up, here is Debra Guisti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to now what is our 60th show that we produced every Saturday night since the lockdown during these highly challenging but very evolutionary times. And this is the second month of season 5, which is Time to Thrive, April through June. And we have 6 more amazing shows in this season. And Scott and I have agreed to do season 6, an incredible mix of appreciating the past and manifesting a positive future. And again, we thank you so much for your donations when you register or when you donate to our GoFundMe, and also when you donate to the community organization that we sponsor during a lot of our shows. We've raised about $90,000 for community organizations and private individuals during the month. And we'll tell you more about who we're going to help support shortly. But for now, I want to let you know our theme for tonight is becoming an island of coherence and pulsing the planet with love. And yes, we are so happy to have another show this season co-hosted by Teresa Collins and her organization's Global Coherence Pulse and the Islands of Coherence Network. Her organizations allow us to become aware that small clusters of humanity living in coherence can help shift the tide from one of fear to one of love. And this is what we're going to do tonight. We are going to experience pulsing the planet with love. Also, the waves of support of individuals that collectively awaken and engage and embody this evolution can create waves of fear to love. And when we allow the conscious attention to our choices and our commitments and actions, it also very passionately raises the quality of our presence in life interaction. And we've got an amazing group of guests tonight that are very passionate about these themes. And they're going to offer insights and experiences during the show that will empower us to actively participate in making this shift together now and pulse the planet with love. So I'd like to introduce them to you now. We are going to have with us by video Bruce Lipton. He's an internationally recognized leader in bridging science and spirit. He's a stem cell biologist. He's a best-selling author of Biology of Belief. So we're really happy to have his amazing words with us tonight. And we also have Kristin Hoffmann, one of our favorite musicians on Saturday Night Live. She's a Juilliard-trained singer-songwriter, musician with an extraordinary artistic range. She's been heard on many record labels and has performed all throughout the world. Welcome, Kristin. We will also feature Chris Decker, who's been involved in creating transformational events and festivals for over 30 years. He was a founder of Earth Dance International and other global festivals for peace. And he continues to create as the co-founder of Uplift and many other virtual online conferences. We're really happy to have as well Claudia Welss, who is a citizen scientist with HeartMath Institute, Global Coherence Initiative, and is the co-founder of Global Coherence Pulse. She's also the chairman of Institute of Noetic Sciences and many other things. We're so happy to have her. We also have Nikita Gearing. She is the author of I Am Mantra, which delivers empowering daily mantras to people in over 80 countries. So for the past 31 years, Nikita has a regular personal practice of exploring different types of meditations and mantras and breathing techniques. Welcome, Nikita. And we're happy to have back again Gary Malkin. He's a multiple Emmy award-winning composer, public speaker, performer, and music wellness innovator who produces strategies for health and wellness and creates a more compassionate world. Hello, Gary, happy to have you back. We are also going to have Jennifer Hill. She's an author, speaker, TV and radio host, entrepreneur, and thought leader. She built and sold her first company at the age of 38, and she recently co-founded a tech startup in healing and wellness space. Welcome, Jennifer. We're also really happy to have Michael Lindfield, who's regarded as a mentor with over 45 years of international experience in helping unleash the creativity of the human spirit and meet the needs of our times and the soul's call for a brighter future. Welcome, Michael. And we're also thrilled to have Danette Wolpert. She is the founder and executive director of Illuminate Film Festival, which is coming up in the next week. She's also the recipient of a National Association of Women Business Owners and the 2016 Visionary Award for Excellence. And we also have Manose with us. Born in Nepal, globally recognized, Grammy-nominated artist, has been touring for more than 2 decades, spreading the essence of music, mantras, and wisdom of Eastern philosophy. Welcome, Manose. And we also have Cornflower, who's been with us many times, who we love. He is a vocalist, live looper, and beatboxer. His music is a fusion of organic and a cappella, soultronica. And I'm happy to present Teresa Collins, who is the associate producer of this show, co-founder of Global Coherence Pulse and Islands of Coherence Network, and is bringing 20+ years of innovative online education and community development and a powerhouse to these times. Welcome, Teresa. And tonight, our donations are going to support telemedicine for COVID-19 in Nepal and India. You may have heard that it's a deadly second wave of COVID has hit India and neighboring Nepal. And the situation is pretty bleak now. There are thousands that are struggling. So our dedication tonight is to support this nonprofit organization who's supporting the people of Nepal. We will share more about this later, but I'm going to start putting the link in the chat box so you can give your green love to this incredible organization that is helping the people now. And now I want to turn it over to Teresa, who is our co-host for the evening. As I said, she's a powerhouse of a woman during these amazing times. She's a co-founder of Global Coherence Pulse, Island of Coherence Network. She's bringing 20 years of innovation of online education. She's worked for so many organizations over the many years with leadership roles, including Gene Keys, Wisdom University, Thrive Movement, Resonance Science Academy. She's really dedicated to empowering learning communities to thrive and is innovating so much during these evolutionary times with her organizations and her missions to bring coherence to the planet. So thank you, Teresa, for creating such an amazing show as you have been. And I'd love to turn it over to you and have you share a bit about your inspiration about this show. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Debra. Thank you, Scott, and thank you, your whole team. It's really wonderful working with your team. You guys have really worked out all of the, really smooth processes that it takes to actually create a show like this. I really want to acknowledge, like, every single week. We're doing one every month with the Global Coherence Pulse, and I already know what that's all about. And you guys doing it every week, and it's such a high vibration and quality. So thank you so much. And you're introducing people to so many good thought leaders and musicians, and you're, providing an opportunity for the Peace Tribe to also laugh in the face of what's happening, right? For us to have some joy together, which is really important, and to be in coherence like this. So I'm going to talk again in a few minutes. And I think what I'd like to do right now is just to invite all of us to actually just settle in and let this evening really nourish your soul, really nourish your heart. We spending, the next couple of hours together, really let it be something that's really going to serve you in a very deep way. And let's be an island of coherence together and pulse the planet with our love, because it's needed more than ever right now. Our collective coherence, I believe, is needed more than ever. So let's just start by just putting our hands on our hearts. Just bringing ourselves fully present to this moment right now. This is where life is happening. And this is where our capacity to make real change on the planet can occur. It's right here. And I really want tonight to be an experience, really, for us to really journey deeply together. And to start us off, I'd like to bring in Cornflower. I always like to start with some music because it instantly brings us into our hearts. And Cornflower, you do that like no one else, right? You tune into the vibe of the space. We've been working together many times, and something beautiful comes. And I'd really like to invite you to begin our prayerful evening with your presence and your love.
Thank you, Teresa. Let's all drop in together.
Bless you, Cornflower. Bless you, Cornflower. Bless you. And let's just keep this vibration that Cornflower has supported us to just rise up into, and let this be the place that we start this experience and journey together from. And there's a little simple practice that I like to do when we have an event like this, and I'm going to invite you to join me. And that is that I place my attention on my heart and my awareness of my feet on the ground, so that I'm really here connected to the earth, and I'm really present in my heart. And that in my in-breath, I'm breathing in life, just the abundant, glorious energy of life. And that on my exhale, I'm breathing out love, my appreciation for this life. And just as we're moving through this time together, if we're all just focusing on our heart, we're feet on the ground, we're bringing this energy into the earth and into our bodies, and we're breathing in more and more life, and we're radiating out more and more love to fill every cell of our body, to create a sacred and safe space for us to be in this experience together, and pulse this love out onto the planet, and tonight be a potent and powerful island of coherence. So that's what we're up to tonight. And I'm going to start by saying that what we believe is true and what we believe is possible impacts our thoughts, our words, our deeds. It impacts what we feed the field. And what I'd like to do tonight is I'd like to explore what we believe together. Because as we do that, we can continue to align our intentions and our unconflicted behavior, our behavior that's aligned with our intentions, to co-create a future that's equal to our vast potential. And I think we don't know what our vast potential is because it is emerging and it's radically new. And yet, I think we can feel it emerging from the inside out when we allow our natural state of coherence to have our attention. And so we're going to be in this exploration. And I want to start. I asked Scott if he would create a poll for us, and I want to see what we believe. Do you believe, if you launch that poll, Scott, do you believe that a small cluster of humanity living in heart coherence can help shift the tide from a current of fear, from a lower vibrational energy of fear to one of love? We have a lot of yeses, like 97%. And I love the not sure. That's the exploration we get to do. Even if you're a yes, I think tonight something deeper is going to come. Because if we believe it's a worthy pursuit to become an island of coherence and pulse the planet with love, then we're really going to show up, and we're going to learn together what it actually means to awaken this capacity, to embody this capacity, and to engage it on behalf of ourself and the whole of life. So that is our exploration this evening, and your participation, your heart energy, your breathing in life and your breathing out love is going to help create a field that will nourish us all and have a huge impact on the planet. So I am going to start this exploration. Every single one of our presenters, I'm asking them this same question. Do you believe that a small cluster of humanity can make a difference? And if yes, then how do you see us awakening this capacity? And also be thinking about what's your part? Because as we begin to join together in an island of coherence, we only really need to do the part we were born to do. We can do less and have greater impact when we join together. So our first guest is a new friend of mine, but feels like an old companion on my journey. I worked with Barbara Marx Hubbard many years ago. And Michael, when I met you just recently with Jude Curvin and talking about World Unity Week, you speak my heart and the story of my soul, right? We came from the same cloth and we're following the same impulse. And so I really wanted to bring you on and have you start us off this evening to share what you believe is possible, what you believe is true, and to share your love with us. Michael.
Thank you, Teresa. It's said that souls are like grapes. They travel in clusters. So I think we may belong to the same cluster of grapes. But anyway, I want to thank you and also thank Cornflower for that opening. I don't want to just call it music. The sound of our collective field. I love the concept of islands of coherence. I've actually been calling them by a different name these past few years. I've been speaking about an urgent global need to create microclimates of goodness. So microclimates of goodness around the world will lead to a positive climate change. Part of my background is organic gardening, and so I naturally think of creating microclimates. So what is a microclimate of goodness? I say that it's a place infused and saturated with the light and warmth of loving kindness. And this loving kindness is generated as a pulse of blessing from the heart, from a heart that truly loves and truly cares for all life. And I think about when we attempt to reforest a desert area. One way of doing it is to go and plant a small stand of trees and nearby another. We create a network of these stands of trees, these planted areas. So these are microclimates where communities of trees take root and begin to connect with each other, and they create a healthy macroclimate eventually. And I'm thinking that's a similar process that we're involved in. How can we reforest the parched desert and barren soil of the present collective human psyche? How do we do it one microclimate at a time or one heart at a time? So I believe that this is how we're being asked to create positive climate change in the world. And I follow a very simple creed. Loving kindness is how islands of coherence and microclimates of goodness are most easily created, moment by eternal moment. So rather than just talking about it, why don't we do this together now? And so I invite us, just as Teresa created a space for us to enter the heart, let us take a deep breath and enter into the silent space of the heart, becoming aware of the beating of our own heart as it pumps the lifeblood around this living system we call the universe of self. And then become aware of the many beating hearts on this broadcast all around the world. And as we listen to each other's hearts beat, they begin to synchronize. And we begin to beat as one single heart. And then we visualize this coherent field of love that is now our group heart, being this sparkling web or sparkling matrix of lighted hearts. And so we are now going to change the climate of the world for the good. So inside our group heart and inside our individual heart, get in touch with the power and presence of a greater love that's seeking to emerge. And then allow it to come out, to saturate the ethers with pulses and waves of loving kindness. And we can feel the frequency and the quality of the surrounding environment being raised. So wherever we are in the planet, that has now been blessed by the love that is pouring through and from our group heart. We are supporting each other in creating microclimates of goodness, islands of coherence. So let's just sit with that for a few moments. This is how we pulse love together. Thank you. So the heart really is the instrument through which resonant relationship occurs. And the heart allows us to receive, to register, and to radiate the greater presence of love that pervades and suffuses all life. I usually say that love is the glue that holds everything together. So I want to just name something that happened to me 3 years ago when I was visiting the Southern Hemisphere. Both in the Blue Mountains of Australia and in the forests of the South Island of New Zealand, I had a very deep experience. I had an experience and a series of subtle meetings with what I would call the divine feminine aspect of Gaia, the mother of the world. And it moved me, and it showed me what the work is ahead for myself and perhaps for all of us. And not that the mother of the world spoke to me in words, but she impressed me through this loving transmission. And this is the gist of the message. I need you to come into resonance with my heart and to join with me and your sisters and brothers in singing in the song lines of a new earth. Through the power of the heart and by utilizing the science of harmonics, I invite you as one family to become the instrument through which I can sing the love song for birthing a new day and touching all human hearts. So that really was a profound experience, because I realized, just as the Aboriginal peoples in that part of the world, both in Australia and also the Maoris in New Zealand, they have a tradition of these song lines, that they carry the DNA, the spiritual DNA of the world that we want to create, and you sing in the new song lines. So I had this inspiration that our task is to sing in the new song lines together. So the love song of Gaia is played through the instrument of our coherent heart. And the heart is tuned, as Stevie Wonder would say, to the key of love. So let's imagine now going back into this heartfelt space of our group field. Imagine our network of lighted hearts on this broadcast net forming the coherent group heart. And then imagine, if you can, an Aeolian wind harp, like perched on top of a mountain or a cliff, where the winds play through the strings and create resonant sounds and harmonies. Now imagine our group heart as that Aeolian wind harp. And we open our heart and we allow the power and the grace of the breath of Gaia to move through the strings of our one coherent heart, producing a haunting and uplifting song of great beauty. So let us listen to that in the living silence of our loving heart. And it's said that silence is the synthesis of all sound. And so as we listen into the silence, we can hear the eternal music of the spheres and feel it vibrating in our blood and in our bones, throughout all our feelings, throughout our thoughts, and throughout the whole of our auric field. So gently, let's register Gaia's love song. And through our pulsing group heart, let's begin to sing in the song lines of this new earth together. Allow our heart to be filled with these sounds. And if you wish, you can even express them, even though you're muted. Whatever you sound reverberates through the whole field of our gathering. So this is something we can do all the time. Gaia is singing a love song to herald a new day, and we've been invited to sing along. Not just sing along as an accompaniment, to be the co-creative voices of Gaia. So that's what I wish to offer to this gathering today. And just remember that the heart is this organ of resonance and coherence that receives, registers, and radiates love. And it's our destiny to become islands of coherence. It's our destiny to become microclimates of goodness. We are climate changers, changing the climate of our planet through the power and presence of loving kindness. Thank you. May the love continue to pulse from the heart of our humanity.
Thank you, Michael. So beautiful. I can tell you're a gardener. And a gardener of the highest order. I mean, Findhorn in Scotland, it's been a long time path of yours, and you're doing some beautiful stuff in the world too, Michael. There's so many different events that you're doing. I know we're putting your website up, and I really hope people go and see and spend some more time with you. I think your transmission of the microclimates of love and coherence is an important one right now.
Thank you. Yes, there are some recordings of presentations and meditations on this site. And as you mentioned, yes, I was privileged to be a gardener at Findhorn and actually take care of the original Findhorn garden for several years. So I've been blessed. And Mother Nature is not only our teacher, she sustains us. So anyway, thank you, Teresa, for the invitation to participate.
I can't wait to continue to play with you. We're going to play together in World Unity Week and
Yeah.
on and on and on. Yes, thank you, Michael.
Yes.
For anybody that likes to take notes, just put a link in the chat to a word cloud that I just started to create, and I put some of the things that Michael said in there. And we might just see what we have at the end of it. So if anybody wants to play with me in that, please click that link and you can add your thoughts, and we'll see what we end up with at the end. So our next guest is Nikita Geary, and she is the author of I Am Mantra. She's also part of our Islands of Coherence. She has a cluster in there and is sharing her love with us every day in there. You've grown a huge global audience following you, and it's really telling you something about where we're at as a humanity and what we're looking for, what we're longing for in order to support us to sustain this choice of coherence in the face of whatever we're facing. And I really wanted to bring your voice forward. I so appreciate you every time you speak. And I'm really happy that you're participating in the Islands of Coherence and that you're a dear sister and friend of mine. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. My heart is expanding 1,000-fold from this, so much goodness tonight. Thank you to everyone who's present and everyone who will join us, because as we know, there's only the now moment. So as we pulse, as we open our own heart and we pulse that out into the field, it's all happening now. And thank you to Scott and Debra for hosting us tonight. You know, my work with I'm Mantra over the last 12 years has shown me that sometimes in the media, we think we're very alone in this desire for personal expansion, transformation, and to help heal our planet, but we're not. There's so many of us around the world waking up, ready to wake up and wanting to connect with others that are also exploring what does it mean to live in coherence. And that's what I really want to just talk briefly about tonight. How do we live in coherence on a daily basis? And simply for me, coherence, and Teresa's already said this, coherence is moving from fear to love. And that's something that I can do every day, very practically, looking at my thoughts, looking at my emotions, how my body's feeling. Am I in the frequency of fear or am I in the frequency of love? They're just so different. And we can always tell by how our body's feeling. Are we feeling more contracted, which is fear, or are we feeling more love, which is expansion, unity, oneness? And I think coherence is really our divine design. You know, we're not, when did we decide that humanity was done? We are a work in progress. We are just realizing our true magnificent potential. And everyone here tonight is because you're saying yes to continue to evolve. And now we're working out how do we do that in ourselves and together. And so I want to share a couple of things that I do daily that really help me with my coherence practice, moving from fear to love. And the first thing is conscious breath. We've already experienced that so far tonight with Michael. Thank you, Michael. With Teresa. Thank you, Teresa. The breath is something we do every day. But when we become conscious of our breath and we start slowing it down, and I'm going to share a really simple practice, we begin to get out of fight or flight, that alert, stress state that so many of us live in, that so much of our society lives in. And we begin to rebalance into our parasympathetic nervous system. We activate our vagus nerve, which is one of the power master nerves of our central nervous system. We activate and stimulate healing, and we immediately begin to move into greater homeostasis, homeostasis being harmony, harmony being coherence. So simple conscious breathing in the morning and night and throughout the day. I love to do conscious breathing pretty much whenever I can, honestly, because I like to think of it as my coherence breathing. And oops. And so here is a really simple practice that I use, and I hope that maybe this will be assistive to you. It's quite a common technique, and it's simply done with breathing in for the count of 4, pausing for the count of 2, and breathing out for the count of 6, and pausing for the count of 2. So you're breathing in for the count of 4, lengthening your breath, pausing, breathing out for the count of 6, and pausing. And what that does is it begins, as I said, to slow down our breath. We come into the present moment. Not only do we move back into greater homeostasis, but we begin to access our subconscious mind, the operating system of our brain. And there we have the potential through conscious thought, through high vibe emotions, to reprogram our brains and start to create a new reality for our bodies, a new reality for our life, and a new reality for our planet. If we as individuals can learn how to come into coherence and heal ourselves and heal our relationships, and then come together and focus on areas of our planets in need, Nepal and India, bless them, healed now. Israel, Pakistan, we send our love to them, peace now. The waters of our planet, clean now. There's so many things that we have the power, and science is showing, as Roland McCready talked about today, science is showing that when we move into coherence, not only do we affect the people around us, but we directly move into synchronization with our living planet. So conscious breath, really, really powerful. And I'll just say one thing about that, which is I like to breathe in through my nose and breathe out through my mouth. The reason why I do that is it really helps me get a good experience of the breath in and breathing out through the mouth. So maybe we just do that all together for let's just do a breath in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, out for 6, out through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause. Just breathe normally. And a couple of other things that I always feel that, and I love doing that, as I said, throughout my day, before I start meetings, just whenever I feel the need to move back into coherence. I think the conscious breath is one of our best friends and tools right now. Other couple of things is high vibrational thoughts. Our mind is so powerful. Our thoughts are signals that we're sending out into the field. Einstein said that the field is the sole governing agency of the particle, the field being energy and the particle being matter. So if we start to understand what are we doing with our energy, how are we feeding the field with our thoughts, with our emotions, we can directly affect matter, not only in our own bodies, but in the world around us. So one thing that I love to use for high vibrational thoughts is the I am mantra. I am is a complete sentence. I love that. I am is a statement that it is so. Right now, I am whole. I am coherent. I am healthy. I am well. I am thriving. I am goodness. We are so powerful. We're just starting to realize our innate power, and our mind is a big part of that. The quality of our mind is really, really important. So sometimes what I love to do is that breathing practice, the coherence breathing. And after you've gotten to a coherent space, start to reprogram yourself with your I am statements. I find that really, really helpful. Finally, to complete emotional coherence, cultivating high vibrational emotions. We don't need to wait for joy to come to us. We don't need to wait for love to come to us. We are these states. We can start cultivating gratitude like a practice, like an exercise. I'm cultivating gratitude today, even if I'm moving through other emotions. And the conscious breathing, the conscious coherence practice, I also find really helpful when I'm triggered or have a challenging emotion, to use breathing to make space, to let the emotion move through me, and then to reprogram with high vibrational emotions. Our emotions are so powerful. And when we choose emotions of love and gratitude and joy, we're amplifying the field, we're amplifying our intentions, and we're amplifying the field so powerfully. And then finally, just to complete, as we moved into deeper coherence, and we do this on a daily basis, we access our intuition. And when we access our intuition, we're accessing our greater potential, our higher nature. And then we can start making decisions from a more coherent place rather than a fear-based place. We're making decisions from love rather than fear. And as we make decisions from coherence and from love, then we can take actions from coherence and from love. And so then not only are we pulsing ourselves and becoming coherent, but then we're making coherent decisions and taking coherent actions. And that is how we begin, I feel, to really start transforming our lives, the lives of others around us, and coming together to help transform the planet. And finally, who is your coherent buddy? Do you have a buddy that you can share this with and grow and learn together? And if you don't, please join us at the Islands of Coherence, because there are so many of us coming together right now to learn how to do this. We're all students in this. We're all learning together. So thank you so much for showing up tonight, saying yes, opening your heart to learn and grow and to pulse the planet with love and become an island of coherence. Namaste.
Wholesome love to Nikita. And I knew that you would give us like really practical right here in this moment. How can we do this? I always appreciate that about you. Thank you so much. And Scott, I think we have a slide that I made for you, Nikita, because we didn't have one for you. This is from your website, which I think is so beautiful. When you go there, you really feel the vibration of what Nikita is offering. And come to the Islands of Coherence, because she's posting there every day. It's a place where we can actually engage with her and start to be in community together. So thank you, sister. I
Thank
love
you.
you.
I love you, Teresa. Thank you, sister.
Yeah. And Nikita is actually Cornflower's sweetheart. So I love that they're here together. Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, let's see our next guest tonight. I have this wonderful grid. I'm going to bring Manose on just for a couple of minutes to talk about our fundraising recipient for this week. We talked about our friends in Nepal and what's happening for them. And Manose, why don't you come on? We just put a link in the chat. If you could just give us a couple of minutes just to tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll touch it again early in the middle of the show.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Wow, my heart, it's just one with everybody now. It's such a powerful, powerful gathering. Oof. Yes, the project, it's called telemedicine. Telemedicine. Right now, Nepal, India, many people cannot have access to emergency healthcare. And we didn't, some of my friends here in Bay Area and also in Nepal put together a team of doctors, nurses. We hired them so they can be available 24 hours a day. It's a 911 calling. It's like calling to 911. And, people who doesn't need to go to hospital, they don't go to hospital because hospital is totally crowded. So that's what we're doing, raising some of the funds. And again, if you don't have a funds, hey, just send prayers, send your big heart. And, I'm going to do something I've never done before. And I've just spontaneously thought about this. This flute, I have owned all my life since I was a little kid. I played in hundreds of albums. I played all over the world. One of my favorite flute. I'm gonna put this on auction, and it's starting today for 11 days. It's gonna go through a different channel, but I just decided to put this for $1,100, $11. So from there, it will go on. And if you're interested, if somebody wants to own used flute by me, I don't know, maybe it's not. I'll be honored. So this flute in a G. Thank you. Namaste.
So Manose, if they want to bid on your flute, do they send you an email at your Manose@gmail or go to your Facebook page, or how would you like them to do that?
Yeah, you can go to my Facebook page. Actually, tomorrow I'm actually going to talk with a former ambassador to Nepal, American ambassador. He is. Can you imagine this vegan ambassador who loves animal and does so many amazing things for Nepal? I've never met an ambassador like that. So I'm gonna have an interview with him in my personal page, and I will talk about flute as well. And my Manose, last name is Newa. That's my Facebook personal page, or you can just write to me directly at my first name at gmail.com. Manose@gmail. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your heart and your love and your joy. Namaste.
Thank you, Manose. We'll hear more from Manose later in the show, and we'll have another opportunity to touch in on that beautiful offering to help with what's happening in Nepal. So our next guest, how are we feeling? Are we starting to really feel this energy of our collective coherence building and pulsing the field with our love? We can just keep doing that with each one of these sharings and keep considering, like, what do you believe is possible? Because if you believe that this is possible, that we really can make a difference on the planet by pulsing the planet with love and cultivating greater coherence, then what we're doing right now is essential. So Gary, I'm really excited to have you on today. And Gary, like Kristin today, is going to just do a little bit of an experience for us. You know, oftentimes Gary's brought into events like this to be featured as a musician, same with Kristin. But they're both thought leaders in their own right, and really watched Gary kind of emerge as an important thought leader around the power of music to support us in cultivating greater coherence in our lives and in the world. So Gary, I'm really excited to have this opportunity to bring you on and to have your thought leadership shine out for us today. And yes, blessings, my brother. I love
Thank
you.
you, Teresa. It's so wonderful to be here. And I so appreciate the opportunity to share a more multidimensional kind of thing than I've done before, at least in this context. I'm going to just start with a little piece of a song, not the whole one, written by me and Christina Frith. And just, I'm so moved, of course, by everything that has been said. Michael, Manose, Nikita, oh my God. So thank you for the incredible opportunity to build on that. Here we go. If all souls were brought here to care, why are there so many crying? If all souls were brought here to love, why so much needless dying? The earth is one country, and mankind its citizens. Let us raise a flag of our one human nation. Bury the hate and water the love. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the world to a place of harmony. Bring in the world to a place of unity as we wrap our loving arms around this changing world. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the young, the old, let your stories be told. The near, the far, whoever you are, the wrong, the right, we don't have to fight. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the young, the old, let your stories be told. The near, the far, whoever you are, the wrong, the right, we don't have to fight. It's time to bring in the world. Oh, oh. Help us to bring in the world. Oh, oh, help us to bring in the. Imagine the gospel choir. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, help us to bring in the world. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, help us to bring in the world. Help us to bring in the world. Help us to bring in the world. Hey, love how a good piece of song medicine can bring us together. So I want to, I've started to think about what practical information that I could share and add to this incredible gathering that would help us develop greater capacity for inner coherence. And I think I have something to offer that you might not have thought of before. So before I go into it, I just want you to allow the power of film score music to awaken awe and wonder. And you know, because every time you've been to a movie, you wouldn't have been at the edge of your seat if it wasn't all those moving parts together, unified by the score. And in the way the score is like a coherent directive to feel a very specific feeling. What if the power of film composing was applied in daily life to the soundtracks of our lives? to support us for coherence itself. I'm going to play a piece of music I wrote for the new Thrive that I scored both Thrive 1 and Thrive 2. And this, I love this cue because, well, it says it all. So just think about that we can sculpt vibrations and to create musical experiences that are almost like the emissary of the world of formlessness, right? And it interacts with the apparatus of our biology and our cochlea and our ways of representing and listening to sound. And then it creates a biochemical reaction that awakens our emotion, right? So this interface between the formlessness of music and the form of our biology is what I want to particularly focus on in the short time that I have, and I'm so grateful to have it. You know, 20 years ago, I released with a work with Michael Stillwater, one of the world's pioneers in spiritual chanting, in multi-denominational singing. And he and I started to set the words of Wisdom Keepers to music that was using the art of film scoring to awaken people's capacity to listen, not just with their minds and their ears, but with their hearts and souls. And we were going to release these powerful messages from Ram Dass and Thich Nhat Hanh and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross with these scored messages that would awaken people's capacity to be more present to the reality of our impermanence. We never dreamed that we would release the CD without the words. What happened when we did suddenly was like one of those eureka moments when we recognized that the music that was created to create spaciousness for the complexity of the human experience actually allowed us to get more in alignment with our relationship to the unlimited possibility of the unified field. And I'm going to show you exactly another example of that, if I can. Here we go, advanced. And here, I just want to show you. I'm going to play you something that, here we go. No, that's not right. Here we go. So this was music created for a thought leader that I'm working with by the name of Sarah McCrum. And if you notice, when you take the words away, what I learned from Greg Braden was that the mitochondria need to have stillness and coherence to align to the unlimited capacity of the unified field. So when you actually create and design and curate a musical subliminal experience for when you want to create coherence, when you want to start a contemplative practice, when you want to deepen your capacity to focus on the love rather than the fear, you can design music that moves at a particular pace and has an intention for awakening you to love. Now, if you notice, there's lots of space here, right? So what I just wanted to give you a taste of this it's one of the proactive ways that we can start a contemplative practice and deepen our sense of immersion in the actual reality. Imagine music is our emissary of the unified field, the formlessness, right? And it's actually allowing us to interact with the form of our bodies and our consciousness and our emotions. And what I even learned more was using this to practice the art of focusing on the interplay between life and death. Imagine if death is the ocean of the unified field, the oneness of all, and we are the shore. And if you focus on the interface of really understanding where life and death intersect, there's some gateway, portal of awakening that deepens our capacity to build coherence, producing experience for our lives. And that's why I recommend, I'm going to turn that off right now. What I learned is there's a lot more to be learned from the intersection. When we all focus together on our impermanence, something happens that's very remarkable. We let the cat out of the bag and we realize that we're not going to be here forever. And suddenly this gratitude emerges for the preciousness of life. My timer didn't actually reflect what is going on, so if you can tell me so I know how much more time I have, I want to be mindful of it. But what I want to say is this. My life has been informed by understanding that death is the mother of all life. Without death, life would not be possible. And when we focus on the reality of our impermanence, the ironic thing is you feel more alive, more grateful, and more connected to the field than you ever dreamed. And I encourage you to experience graceful passages as well, to be able to have that experience. The last thing I'm going to do is just share just the last 2 minutes of a cue, because I have a feeling I'm close. Am I?
I think this will be your last piece, Gary.
All right, great. Thank you. I'm sorry the timer didn't go off. I want to share this last piece because if we're all dreaming in this reality, then there's no way we can do that without actually practicing the art of vibrating at the frequency of triumph and of success. So let me just take this off. And so I want to just play the last 2 minutes of a track that I created for Thrive that was the hardest cue for me to write. And it was the cue that was when Foster and Kimberly at the end of the film actually say, we can do this. We were all meant to thrive. I'm just going to play the last 2 minutes and imagine that this is the triumph soundtrack for vibrating at the frequency of our capacity to all create islands of coherence together. Here we go. I'm just going to play the last 2 minutes. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. The last thing I'll say is the moment of ending a piece, it's a practice. If you celebrate the ending of a piece, it's like celebrating the end of a life. And that presence you pay attention to at the end of a piece and creating the spaciousness that we are all guided and inherently guided to do is a really powerful moment of practicing developing coherence. Thank you for the opportunity to share my passion around how we can really use music to actually affect the soundtracks of our lives and the quality of meeting coherence together with our inner ecologies and our outer abilities to create it together as a group. Thanks, Teresa.
Beautiful, Gary. You should see all the beautiful messages in the chat around how much you've touched everyone's heart. And I played Graceful Passages when my dad passed many years ago, as you know, and it's a most exquisite piece. So I hope people do it. And you have something happening right now. It's on Sundays. I know you're changing to Saturdays, but you are starting to invite people into soul song times together with you. And I'm excited that people will join you.
Yes, it's really a very special way to turn your prayer and your intention into a customized song for yourself. And it's a beautiful experience. And I'm going to be starting in June, offering it on Saturdays, the first Saturday of the month. So instead of just four times a month, it's going to be once a month on Saturdays. But come tomorrow if you can, and I'd love to see you. It's a beautiful experience, and I am so excited to be a part of the Islands of Coherence. I'm building out my cluster as I have time, and it's the most phenomenal playground to play with people who are in alignment with you. And I love everyone on this call, and I love you all. Thank you for the opportunity to share.
Thank you, Gary.
Bye.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Yeah. Well, we're just going to keep on moving. We are going next to Bruce Lipton. He's not here with us today because he's traveling back from Australia and couldn't be here in person, though he originally did. So we have a video of him, and he's just so sweet. So let's go right now to Bruce Lipton.
Hi, dear friends, cultural creatives, and seekers everywhere. I'm Bruce Lipton, author of the best-selling books, The Biology of Belief, Spontaneous Evolution, and The Honeymoon Effect. Well, I am particularly honored to be with you this day with Saturday Night Alive for a very important reason. This is a very special day, as we've seen with the Global Coherence Project, with Uplift, and now with Saturday Night Alive, that today is a day of trying to coordinate a population to see into the future with a better vision than the one that we're living with right now. I go, what does that mean? Well, if you've been reading the newspapers, surfing the web, or even looking outside your window, you can see the world is in a very big state of chaos and upheaval at this moment. And a lot of people see this as a moment of fear, a time where the world that they know is becoming undone. Well, let me give you a different alternative vision, and that is this. This is actually the right time, doing the right thing for a very important reason. 5 times in the history of this planet, life was thriving, and some cataclysmic event came and wiped out up to 90% of life. 5 times. These are called mass extinctions. The last mass extinction, 66 million years ago, was when the dinosaurs were here, and a comet hit near the Yucatan Peninsula, upended the web of life, wiped out all the dinosaurs, and up to 75% of life disappeared. Well, today we're facing now what is referred to as the 6th mass extinction of life. And the significance is profound, because while the previous mass extinctions were done by natural causes, the experience of today's mass extinction is precipitated by human behavior. It says we have really lost our way with nature, disconnected ourselves from the environment, and now we're paying the price because we've upended the web of life ourselves. And you say, well, what are we going to do about this? I say, well, here's what's going on. We are in an evolutionary upheaval at this moment. I go, so why is that relevant? I say, we have to change the nature of civilization to learn to become more in harmony with life and the world around us. And I say, so what's happening? Well, the current civilization has precipitated this mass extinction, and we have to move into a much more thrivable situation. The most important part is you cannot build the new sustainable civilization on the foundation of today's world, because today's foundation is responsible for the problem. As Einstein recognized, you can't change some problems using the same thinking that created the problems. So what are we facing? We're facing a movement to a higher level of life. I go, so what? I go, well, this is a process where the old civilization which has created the problem, has to break down so we can build a new civilization on a much better foundation. So when you see the world coming apart, you can look at it and go, oh my God, the thing is falling apart and we have problems all over. And I go, no, it's falling apart because we cannot build that sustainable civilization on the current foundation of our world culture. So what can we do about it? Well, the most important insight from the new biology is that this evolution is not going to be an evolution where we change our genetics, change our biology, change our body. No, the evolution we're facing is an evolution in consciousness. We have to change the way we are thinking. And this is an important part because as we do this, we change the world in which we are living because the world we are living is a result of our consciousness. So when you see it falling apart, it's actually a very beneficial sign. Because if it doesn't fall apart, we have a very short lifespan in front of us. The sixth mass extinction is promising to actually eliminate human civilization before the end of this century. So what must we do? We must change the way we're thinking. We must start to recognize that we are part and parcel of nature itself, and that we must go back to the Aboriginal thinking of the world as a garden, and we are gardeners, and we're here to take care of it. So as you look around, see the world falling apart, I think that's a very positive sign, because if it doesn't, the writing is on the wall. So what can we do about it? Do we all have to go out in the field and make changes in the world? And I go, no. Matter of fact, there's an old saying from the hippie days a half a century ago that said, before you go out and change the world, take care of your own backyard. What this is really calling upon us to do is to change how we are living with each other and how we are living with nature. And this is a process of consciousness evolution. So to evolve, we don't have to change our body, we just have to change our consciousness, our thinking. And this is the process that we're experiencing right now. As you see the world being disconnected and broken into pieces, this is the opportunity to think of a better way of life and come together. Well, how many people does it take to change this worldview? Well, interesting enough, not a lot. Basically, it comes down to a simple fact. The Maharishi effect reveals that only 1% of the population was necessary to change the rest of the population. And the reason is very simple. If our consciousness was like a radio broadcasting signals, with the consciousness of the world today, it's very noisy. As a matter of fact, it's all out of coherence. It's just noise. But the important part, only 1% of the population having a coherent understanding, broadcasting consciousness in a uniform and supportive manner is enough to change all the rest of the people as well. So while you're all out there right now going, guess what? We're pretty damn close to that 1% of the population change the world. And you go, well, how can thinking change the world? And the answer is very important because it's connected to the most valid science on this planet. Quantum physics has been proven and affirmed to be the most truthful of all the sciences on this planet, the most tested and verified. And you go, so what? And I go, well, quantum physics engages a very important principle. The first principle of quantum physics is consciousness is creating our life experiences. We want to change the world. We don't have to physically go out and change the world. First, we have to change our consciousness. And today's programming on how islands of coherence can change the world is an expression of that Maharishi effect. It says that if we all collectively got together and represented just 1% of the population and gave it a new vision of love, health, and harmony, that is all that is needed to kick off the evolution so that we can thrive into the future. Now you might say, well, how can consciousness do that? Well, biologically, just let me give you a little insight, and that is this. We can read your consciousness, your mind. I go, oh, yes. Putting wires on a person's head is called electroencephalograph, EEG. And the wires pick up the brain activity underneath, and that reveals the processing of consciousness. And yet, that result really gives us the impression that our consciousness is deep inside our head. But there's a new technology to read consciousness, and it's called magnetoencephalograph, not EEG, but MEG. You know, so what's the difference? I said, well, it reads consciousness. I go, yeah, but what's unique? And I go, in magnetoencephalograph, wires don't touch your head at all. The probe that reads your consciousness is out here, outside of your head.
I go, what does that mean? And the answer is very seriously and profoundly important. Our thoughts are not contained within our head. Our thoughts are broadcast into the field. And when we come back to the quantum physics, I say, what is the relevance of it? They say the universe is an expression of energy and consciousness. That, as I said, the principle, primary one for quantum physics is consciousness is creating our life experiences. But it's also predicated on the fact that our consciousness is being broadcast out into the field. And if you can get 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people, just 1% of the people to have a different consciousness, then guess what? It's not contained in their head. It's broadcast in the field. Each of us, our brain is the equivalent of a tuning fork sending out vibrations. And the coherence of 1% of the population having the same vibration is enough to change the energy of the field to help us come through this extinction process out the other end and go into a world of thrival. So the most important thing I can leave you with is a very significant fact, and that is this: the chaos that you see going on right now is a very positive sign, because it says that we're beginning to recognize that the way we have been living is actually the problems that we are facing in the world of nature and the web of life. And that changing our thinking, and this is actually based on both quantum physics and the new science called epigenetics, which shows that our consciousness is also controlling our internal environment. So between quantum physics says consciousness is changing the external environment, epigenetics says that consciousness is changing the internal environment. What if we collectively started to share a vision of love, harmony, and a planet coming together in unity? And I say, why is it relevant? Because if we get 1% of the population to broadcast that consciousness out in the field, that is enough of an energy power source to change the world. So I just want you to understand that today's been a wonderful day to address this issue of love and health and harmony, and small groups of people getting together just to change the consciousness, because each of us as a tuning fork can collectively change the world. So conclusion is simple. Yes, the world is in chaos. I wouldn't be afraid of it, because if there was no chaos, then I would be afraid, because that meant that we were just going to continue on the same track we've been going on. And that is a track to extinction. So when you look out the window today and you see the chaos, realize this is one of the most important stages in manifesting an evolution, to break the old structure, which is causing the problem, break it down so that a new structure based on love, harmony, peace, balance with nature can create a foundation for a future civilization that will allow us to thrive into the future. So I really want to express my deepest appreciation and thankfulness that you're all here today, because you being here today is, every one of you being that tuning fork, is what is going to create the evolution that will allow us to move into that future with the love that we've been talking about all day. A day that can go on forever when we start to recognize love is the force that holds us together and creates the pathway to a future of thriving in this beautiful garden that we've been provided with. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here today. Again, each one of us is an evolutionary participant. We must create our evolution. It's not a passive event. We are the creators of this. You are the creators of this. So thank you. Keep up the love, keep up the vision, because our future is so bright. And all of you are the creators of that future. Thank you very much.
Don't we love Bruce Lipton? Let's all just right now, he's, traveling, him and Margaret, they're doing so much to bring the science into a very practical way. Bruce, we love you. I could see everybody in the chat saying, we can do this. We can do this. Yeah. So let's bring up that quick little video, Scott. I really want
Welcome to BruceLipton.com.
Go ahead. You can play it.
Here, you will have total access to powerful new knowledge that will enable you to become a master of your life rather than a victim of your heredity. Bruce Lipton, best-selling author of The Biology of Belief, is an internationally recognized leader in bridging the gap between science and spirit. Enter the vast world of your cells and experience the wisdom within, as Dr. Lipton explains the science of epigenetics in a way that is fun and easy to understand.
Epigenetics, as the name implies, epi means above, genetics is the genetic activity, so epigenetics means actions above the genes. It was the environmental signals that controlled the activity of the gene. Genes do not control themselves. Genes respond to signals in the environment.
And join Dr. Lipton in a journey beyond the infinite.
I want to thank everybody out there because you are the cultural creatives.
Thank you, Bruce. And I really want to say that Bruce has on his website, when you go there, so much great information. His books are marvelous, but I really want to invite you to join his community. Bruce is doing webinars on a regular basis. He's so much fun. He makes it very practical and inspiring, as you can see everybody saying in the chat. So thank you, Bruce. We love you. And let's support Bruce by joining his community so that he can continue to do more of spreading this good message onto the planet. So we're going to keep moving right along. It's a fast-paced show. We have to keep on moving as we continue to pulse the planet with our love. And our next guest is a perfect one to introduce that. Claudia Wells is also the co-founder of the Global Coherence Pulse. She was on this morning. She led our meditation today. She is a citizen scientist through and through, and she is the co-founder of the Global Coherence Initiative, along with the Global Coherence Pulse. She's the chairman of the Institute of Noetic Sciences. She's very, very active in bringing coherence onto the planet. And Claudia, I am so grateful that you're here tonight and that we get to be in partnership in this great work of bringing the awareness of heart-centered coherence into the world together. I love you.
Thank you, Teresa. I love you too. And thank you, Scott, Debra, and everyone. I'm still with Bruce Lipton dressed like Bob Ross in that video. I don't know if anybody else picked that up. It's great to be back on Saturday Night Alive, and I'm going to share a brief perspective as a citizen scientist. But first, to introduce the Pulse, we thought it would be more fun to show another short introductory video. So can we do that now, please, Scott?
This is the human heart. Central to our physical body, our survival, revered by poets throughout history as the emotional center of our being. The place we instinctively touch when asked to point to ourselves. And now, what we have known intuitively is being understood scientifically. Researchers are unlocking a new science of the heart that could change everything we know about health and our interconnected nature. Coherence is a state of balance between heart, mind, and emotions, creating a favorable cascade of neural, hormonal, and biochemical events that benefit the entire body. But this phenomenon not only benefits us personally, it affects everything around us, emitting an electromagnetic field that can be measured up to 3 feet outside of the body. When you are in coherence, your heart resonates at the same frequency as the Earth's magnetic field. This frequency positively affects everything around you. When a group of people are in coherence together, this effect is magnified. Could communities synchronized in coherence lower violence, accelerate cooperation, and global harmony? This is the purpose of the Global Coherence Pulse. If we can measure the impact of thousands of people in coherence at the same time, it could lead to a breakthrough in understanding the full potential of the human heart. All you need to participate is your presence and your heart. To take it to the next level, join the research study by downloading the app and getting an HRV monitor to measure your personal coherence. The world needs it more than ever before. Each human heart is unique and magnificent by itself, but imagine what could be possible when we unify.
Thank you for showing that. I'm so excited to appear after Bruce Lipton, not just because he's such an icon, but because long ago he shared something with me from his own work that became one of my go-to ways to think about heart coherence, which is, of course, what the Global Coherence Pulse is pulsing the planet with. What he told me was that intelligence emerges when a system connects with itself. And I thought I'd share that tonight because Bruce was talking with us about the brain just now. And at the Pulse, we focus on the heart. But I know Bruce, who's also a good friend of heart math, would agree that truly new thinking requires the holistic intelligence that emerges when the heart and the brain are connected through coherence. And it's this connected heart-brain intelligence that's most missing in our world. I remember sharing this idea with Barbara Marx Hubbard, the mother of conscious evolution, known to many of you in the Peace Tribe, I'm sure. It was in her home in Santa Barbara, and I was always talking to her about coherence, and she was always having people visit her home. And this particular day was no exception. But it was memorable for me because when I shared that intelligence emerges when a system connects with itself, her visitor immediately challenged the idea, saying, well, what does that even mean? Are you saying that when like a sewer connects with itself, it becomes intelligent? And I don't remember what I said in reply because I was so flustered, but I remember what I wished I'd said, which was, yes, it would be intelligent for a sewer, because it would be a really unintelligent sewer if it wasn't connected to itself. In fact, it wouldn't even be a sewer. It would just be a collection of separate parts with excrement everywhere, people. But when it's connected, the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. It becomes something new. Bruce, of course, was speaking of intelligence emerging in living systems. The difference is life is already connected to itself through quantum entanglement and magnetic fields and however else that we have yet to discover. We just need to enliven those connections through coherence, through our hearts. And it's love and other regenerative emotions like gratitude that enliven coherence in us. Did you hear Bruce say that love is the force that holds us together and creates the pathway to a thriving future? Embodied coherence is the power to hold things together, to create ever greater, ever more complex wholes, healing fragmentation in any system through a dynamic stability in which the exchange of information and energy can flow unimpeded, even we theorize outside of our conventional notions of space and time. This is how we reconnect with nature's coherence, through our own. Cultivating greater coherence is what I think of when Bruce says we need to first take care of our own backyard. We can intentionally embody greater coherence by working with the breath and regenerative emotions like love and gratitude. And as we radiate our coherence out into the world through the body's electromagnetic fields, we become an even greater connected whole as the coherence within us connects us to the coherence around us. It really is an inside job. We created the pulse to help answer the question, what if the only thing holding us back, individually and as a species, is our belief in separation? By helping demonstrate the power of heart coherence to connect. I sometimes describe the pulse as like the GoFundMe for coherence, helping create a tipping point in microclimates of coherence. Thank you, Michael. As a free and open citizen science initiative, we represent both a social collaboration of aligned communities, organizations, and citizen scientists like anyone here in the Peace Tribe on this call, and a scientific collaboration, including scientists from HeartMath and IONS, employing a global network of sensors designed to demonstrate that the coherent energy of our collective heart affects our collective reality, and not just through the actions that we're inspired to take, but through the coherent energies themselves. That was my timer. See if I can cancel it. So we want to both help shift the scientific paradigm from one based on fundamental separation to one that acknowledges the unity of all life, and shift our world from one dominated by the love of power to one that's liberated by the power of our love. So thank you so much. And I hope to see some of you on our next pulse. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Claudia. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, we need to liberate the power of our love. And Scott, if you'll bring up the slide for the Global Coherence Pulse. We had one this morning, the first Saturday of every month. We have a Global Coherence Pulse at noon. And for World Unity Week, which is our next pulse on June 19th, we are going to have a pulse every single day during World Unity Week in partnership with Michael and Jude Currivan and World Unity Week, so that we can bring coherence into the field throughout the entire time. So thank you again, Claudia, for your love and presence. Always so good to have you on the session. And yes, let's have more people join us in the polls. Yeah. All right. So if you're just joining us, which some people, I can see we have some new people on. I see Chris Decker's with us now. We're going to be hearing from him soon. We are exploring if we believe that a small clusters of coherence, people living in coherence, can help shift this system to a higher order. And I think we're feeling it. We're pulsing the planet with love. And tonight we are experiencing ourselves as an island of coherence. So we're happy that you're here with us, and we are just going to keep flowing through this beautiful evening and continue to pulse the love that we're experiencing as we're here together onto the planet. So I'm excited about our next guest, and that is Kristin Hoffmann. Bring her onto the screen. One of my favorite artists. I never can get through one of your sessions without crying, so I'm just going for it. I'm going to do it anyway. Kristin brings her love and energy into so many different events. You're going to see her tomorrow on the celebration of love with Uplift and so many others. And as we heard with Cornflower in an upcoming event. But Kristin, I'm so happy to have you on the call today. And like Gary, I wanted to invite you not just to do your music, but to have your thought leadership, have a space to flower. So welcome and thank you for being here. And I can't wait to hear what you have to share with us today.
Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. What a beautiful evening this has been. I just feel so grateful for this community each and every time we tune in together. So thank you. And more love coming tomorrow with the celebration of Love Festival. So this week, I've been feeling a lot of just the sadness of the world. And as I was coming on tonight to share about love, I was thinking, gosh, how do I tune into love right now? There's been a few nights where I just was having trouble sleeping. And I suddenly was thinking about the islands of Coherence, and I remembered one of the most important dreams that I had about 20 years ago. And it was the night after I had done a sweat lodge. And suddenly in this dream, I was visited by a guide, and a scroll was rolled out before me, and it was explained to me that we are all born into 12 categories of mission in this life. And it was told to me that I was born into a category called Map of the Stars. And the role of this category was to come in and shine light through the darkness and help to reconnect and ignite a matrix of light even through the darkest times. And tonight, as I'm listening, tonight I wore this because to me this spoke to what I was feeling, that we have the choice right now. We have this opportunity to be light bearers, torch bearers of light through the darkness, reconnecting to each other, sending out love, sending out this pulse of love, and literally lifting up the light grids for all of Gaia, for all of humanity, for all beings on this planet right now. So as I'm sharing this musical experience, I call it Soul Om, which is a dance of soul, light, and Om, the vibration of the universe. I don't know what's going to happen. The song is unwritten. So I want to invite you to just tune into your inner star. We are all stars. We are all these love-filled light beams. And maybe your star feels like it hasn't been shining so brightly lately, but just go inward and know that you can cultivate this important energy right now, and that together we can reignite these important light grids and really lift energy. That is what the Islands of Coherence are all about, I think. And just send your intentions. Please send your deepest, deepest prayers for our world and for all of those who are going through very challenging times right now. Please send your deepest prayers and intentions into the music. And may I be a vehicle for light and love. May I receive your conscious intentions, your prayers. May I be a portal for divine energy and high energy to come through right now. And let's go into the music. My deepest prayers. Thank you.
palms pressed deep to the heart of Gaia. All the dying breaths and all the birthing cries were one song singing, oh, one song singing. One song, one song. When the instrument of love was played, all beings fell to their knees, palms pressed deep to the heart of Gaia, and all those dying breaths and all the birthing cries were one song singing, oh, united again, united again. One song singing, one song singing, oh, one song singing. One song singing now. One song singing now. Palms pressed to the heart of Gaia. Palms pressed to the heart of Gaia. One song singing. to the heart of Gaia. Palms pressed 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 to the heart of Gaia.
Let's just stay in this moment with our heartbreak, right? Of what's emerging on the planet as the old falls away. And let our pulsing of love go out to that heartbreak. Because being an island of coherence is sustaining this pulsing of love in the face of whatever we're facing. That's the real work here. I thank you so much, Kristin, for bringing in the heartbreak, because we really need to be present to what's present and occurring. And that's what we need to bring our love and coherence to.
Thank you.
Mm. Our hearts are breaking open.
Yes. Yes. So perfectly put. And all that just beautiful light is pouring out, and we are connecting right now. Right now.
Yeah. I think it's the pain of us thinking that we were separate, and all of the ways in which we pushed each other away. And now we're starting to like understand from this wellspring of our own hearts that we are all connected, and that all of these atrocities that we've done to each other in the earth, just we need to just let them go and know that there is another way, and that we are that way. And you really just brought that through. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Such a great honor to be here with everyone.
Yeah.
Hi, Scott. Dear Scott.
Oh, what an evening, huh?
Oh, just powerful.
It's interesting, when Kristin and I were doing our sound check, she brought up, have you ever noticed how certain lessons, like you hear things, but you get them on a deeper level? That's exactly what I'm having tonight. Like, this is our 4th show of doing Global Coherence, and I have such a deeper understanding of what Teresa and her tribe are doing tonight that I've had before. You know, it's like the very thing you were bringing up. It's interesting how that is happening for me. I am going to bring on another member of our family that those of you who came on earlier have seen, our beloved brother Cornflower.
Yay!
And of course, Kristin has been on Saturday Night Alive many times. Cornflower has been on. They're like, so everybody loves both of them. And we had the idea of what would it be like for them to do a special afternoon experience with the two of them leading an event. And so I'm going to pull up on the screen. And of course, Debra's putting into the chat box. We're really excited. On June 6th, Global Peace Tribe is presenting Sonic Source Activation with Kristin and Cornflower together, experiencing your creative awakening.
Yay!
Tell us about it. What are you guys going to do?
Go Cornflower.
Well, first off, Kristin, that was just absolutely stunning. And I truly hope you recorded it.
I think it's being recorded.
It's so incredibly beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Kristin and I are going to come together to create an experience for everyone to come and just bathe in 4 musical journeys. And each one is an opportunity to empower your creative potential. Now, like Kristin mentioned earlier in the broadcast, you don't have to do the things, these little activation points for bringing in source through your creative magic and your creative gift. But the 4 different activation journeys are going to be around visioning, meditation, and then there's one for creative writing, and then there's one for drawing, and then there's one for painting and drawing, and then there's one for dancing and movement. And so we've just been having so much fun coming up with this container for all of you to step into and experience and be bathed in the music that we're going to be creating live and improvised, but also to call each of you who feel inspired to open to what your voice and your gift is in this world and really activate and awaken that potential.
Aw.
Kristin, you want to add any
That was so beautifully shared.
extra sauce on that?
Yeah, I just feel like both Cornflower and I, we both feel like our main mission in life is to create and open up spaces of inspiration so that you can remember through the music as a catalyst, remember what your own creative spark is. We each have an incredible, unique gift, and so many of us have many, many unique gifts, but this is going to be a time for you to just, it's a no judgment zone, no self-judgment. Nobody's judging. It's a time to just experiment and flow and tune into the music and have fun and either just listen or try the exercises and, share or don't share. It's all up to you. It's a total free flow zone. And we're just so excited.
When I was studying with Bobby McFerrin, he talked about the mistake-free zone. It's so important when we step into circle. Not all of us are used to opening our voice, and there's trauma there, and there's fear. And, it's so important to know that your participation, just your presence alone, is activating this creative potential. Just your presence, just showing up. And just like my dad used to say, you put your feet on the earth after you wake up, you throw your feet off the bed and put it on the earth. You are showing up. And so just by showing up, you're saying yes to your creative potential. So you don't actually have to engage in the prompts, but if you do, I think there's magic that awaits you. So we're so thrilled, and hopefully you'll join us.
Yay.
Thank you, guys. Again, I'll pull up a couple things.
And we want to thank Scott and Debra and for your incredible support of this coming together and sharing in this way. So
and Lindsay, who's behind the scenes helping
Yes.
out and doing all kinds of magical wizardry. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay.
We are blessed. We have a really wonderful support team.
Truly.
And so a big thank you to Debbie Johnston and Lindsay and Jessica as we're growing this out. What's wonderful, everybody, is we are expanding our offerings. We're doing at least one big special event each month now. And of course, we're just really excited about how this is all growing for all of you, the Global Peace Tribe. So again, do join us on June 6th. It's going to be very, very special. And we do have a limit on the number of people we can, have join us. So register now, don't wait. And I also just want to remind people that a lot of people are asking, how do I get more Kristin Hoffmann? How do I get that song? How do I get her music? And her website is her name, Kristin, Kristin, Hoffmann with 2 Fs, Hoffmann, 2 Fs, 2 Ns, KristinHoffmann.com. And
thank you, Scott. And if anyone's looking for the song, you're just going to have to watch the show again because it was just created now with your intention. So maybe it will be recorded in the future.
Absolutely. And everybody, that's why you want to join our Zoom room. and register with us, because we will send out an email on Monday with our YouTube link to the entire show. And then you'll have the YouTube link and you can listen to Kristin over and over, and then to Cornflower over and over, and all the beautiful things that are taking place tonight. So thank you. And I'm going to turn it back over to our co-host, Teresa.
Oh, that was amazing. Well, and the show continues as we continue to pulse the planet with our love as an island of coherence. And I'm excited to bring on our next guest, Chris Decker, who's joining us. They're getting ready for the big celebration of love that we just was sharing about earlier in the show. Chris, in our pre-show, we shared the little video, which we'll share again. And we've been talking about the Festival of Love, and I'm so happy to have you on. Chris is a co-founder of Uplift. He has been someone who has been involved in some of the early days of creating big festivals like Earth Dance and so many others. Like, you're kind of part of the pioneering team of these synchronized events where we're pulsing the planet with love and with peace. And I'm so grateful that you came on today and that we get a little chance to have a chat about what you're up to with Uplift and about this celebration of love that's happening tomorrow and ongoingly.
Thank you, Teresa. It's a great honor to be here with everyone and see some of my beautiful friends who I haven't seen for some time too in this amazing Pulsing the Planet with Love session that you're hosting. Thank you for your great work. And I just want to honor Kristin. That piece just completely, wow. I really felt that energy of the breakthrough. You know, we're going through this breakdown, but we really have to allow our hearts to break, you know, in this time. And there's a lot of it going on, and it's real. And it's something that we all don't like to, you know, embrace at times, but it's just this ability to know that the breakdown is, we're all held, you know, in the breakdown. And then there is this incredible breakthrough. And Kristin, thank you so much for just beautifully holding space for that, to let me feel that. And I think we all felt that in that moment. Wow, it was potent.
I love you so much, brother. Thank you.
Love you too. Yeah, so just wanted to so great to be here, and this work of creating these islands of coherence, is this moment of bringing people together with intention, you know, is been my work, as many of you know, for decades now. You know, we started with Earth Dance back in the 90s, and it was sort of pre-internet time, and the idea then, you know, we were all part of the sort of early days of electronic dance music culture. So the idea was to dance around the world and then have this moment of coherence, wherever you were, you committed to this one prayer for peace. So that was the intentional moment we had in Earth Dance, that connected in its peak around 700 locations in about 75 plus countries, came together all across the world, all these dance floors uniting and pulsed the planet with love at that moment. And we've had some, you know, incredible stories over the decades of what happened to people, their epiphanies, to communities. It was a great journey to see that. And now seeing it evolve, now we have all this great technology, these people can really, we can refine and you know, refine that connection. So yeah, so it's great to be here. And tomorrow, I'd like to invite the global audience to join us with Uplift. We're doing a festival. It's an online festival. It's 8 hours long, and it's called the Celebration of Love Festival. And we're going to be diving deep in this festival. We've spent the last month interviewing all sorts of people from across the world, scientists, musicians, artists, and just really diving deep into what is love, you know, this great mystery, this mysterious question. And we go into the science of love as well. And many of the friends here today are also joining. And it's actually, it's more of a musical journey as well. So it's woven together, if you like. The backbone of the journey is musical expressions like what Kristin just did. So we're going to have this musical backbone, and then interspersed with these sort of expressions from different people around the world about love and going a little bit deeper. So we definitely like to invite you all to that. because really, what is love? I mean, it's, spending the last month interviewing everyone has been quite a deep revelation on so many levels, just to feel this, it's like, are we loving to get something in return? It has been a big one. Like, love is just such a neutral space of holding and sharing. And it is, as Bruce calls, it's this incredible energy that we can't really put into a box, but it's the energy that creates life, and the energy that keeps us together. And then love with joy, when you have love, you have a lot of joy, and joy is this great tide that rises all the boats of humanity, and we can feel connected at such a deep level, and we need it more than ever. And it was great, some of the conversations tomorrow of when you're loving something, you have this dualistic thing, you're loving something over there, but actually love is the connection between it all. It's the coherence of bringing it all together. So it's a very interesting conversations that came up in this session we had. So you'll get to hear a lot of that tomorrow.
Yeah, we're so excited that you have the celebration of love. And I'm glad you made it for tomorrow, because we had the pulse this morning.
I know.
We have Saturday Night Alive tonight. So we're pulsing the field, getting ready for this festival celebrating love. And the other
Teresa,
thing I
which is
love,
such great synchro-mystical, we say,
yes.
Like synchro-mystical, that you are already in this mode of creating this love pulse. And of course you have the global coherence pulse, which is just amazing. And I also honor you for your work. Such an important pulse to have monthly. But then for whatever reason, we've joined together in the great mystical flow, and we have a weekend of love and pulsing the planet with love. So it couldn't be better timed.
Yeah. Well, I've claimed that we're actually having a love fest, and that we've started it this morning, and we're going on tonight, and then you're doing tomorrow, and then we have Illuminate Film Festival, and on and on and on and on, as each one of us, those of us in heart-centered coherence, begin to express our passion and purpose in these events and opportunities for us to come together. So, one thing I'm really excited about with tomorrow, it's also love in action. Do you just want to say something about the focus? Because it seems like Uplift is actually redesigning itself, and that its commitment is to actually showcase love in action wherever we see it. And I think that that's a really potent and powerful message. And yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. Yeah, look, our new direction is to really highlight where love hits the ground, if you like. So and that's in many, many ways. And also we're highlighting a lot of organizations around the world who are doing great work, where you can really take love into the field, if you like, and be of service. So tomorrow we'll be also sharing a lot of these projects and project leaders and founders who are doing this work. And the new direction of Uplift. So Uplift is now the new URL, which will be launched, I think tomorrow actually even. It's uplift.love. So we're merging everything over from Uplift Connect, which everyone's used to, now into this uplift.love site, which will be a lot of conversations and stories around love in action, and really inspiring people to go out and take action, where we can take love into the field and really make it, just really commit to that.
Beautiful. I can't wait to join you tomorrow. We have a little video. We have your video.
Oh, great.
So let's play that right now so people can get a feel for what's coming tomorrow. Beautiful. We're
Thank
so
you,
excited
Teresa.
to join you tomorrow, Chris. And I wonder if you just had some closing words you want to leave us with today.
Yeah, thank you. So I just wanted to say it was very important to note that the Celebration of Love event is also a co-creation, and all our wonderful partners and organizations we work with, like yourselves, have come together to support us. And I just want to give a big thank you to you all. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Blessings to you. And we'll join you tomorrow. We'll keep
Thank
pulsing
you.
the field together, and we've laid a lot of land of grace for you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you for mid-show announcements.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Teresa. And I want to acknowledge our two very important members of our team, Jay Mayer and Jan Kaplan. And I put them on the spotlight here. Jay is our executive producer, and Jan is our senior producer. And they, of course, put together a lot of the shows that you've seen, the Indigenous Elder shows as an example, Angels and Miracle shows, and a lot of the videos that you see on Saturday Night Live, including every week we have Wisdom Jewels. And so this is the Wisdom Jewels that Jan and Jay put together this week. And let's take a look. They're quite beautiful. They're always a lot of fun. So big thank you, Jay and Jan. And I have to say, it was impressive finding wisdom quotes connected to islands of coherence. And that beautiful video, I'm curious, Jan, well, let's all twinkle Jan. Good job there, Jan. Good job. Yay. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys all next week, or maybe later on in the show. You'll see them moving and dancing, that's for sure. I know they love Cornflower and Kristin a lot. All right, it is time for our mid-show announcements. And we want to still invite any of you watching on Facebook or on one of the YouTube channels, you can still join us. There's still some really good show tonight ahead. And even if you're watching the recording of this, still join us. Go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and join, register. It only takes a minute. And that way we can let you know about announcements like Cornflower and Kristin coming together to play. And we're planning some really cool stuff for the summer. We're planning some really exciting shows, and we're planning some really exciting extra events, including Jeff McBride doing an entire evening of magic. So you definitely want to know about all of that. Go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. Please do that. And again, we want to thank those of you who have been donating. And I'm going to read the names of the people who have donated in a moment. But for anybody who came in late, Manose, one of our wonderful performers and presenters tonight, has asked us to support an organization he helped put together to bring medicine to Nepal and India. And so I want to thank the people that have donated, including our own Claudia Welss, who donated $500. God bless you, Claudia. And thank you to everybody who's been donating. A lot of you have done it anonymously, but it's really beautiful. Susie Karasik, one of our dear friends, thank you. Reverend Jeffrey, a lot of anonymous donors, thank you so much. Christine, Ayada, Pamela, Amy, David, Teresa Collins, God bless you. Jan Kaplan, you're a gem, thank you. Maya, and so it goes. So please, thank you everyone so much for your donations. And again, I know that Debra's going to put it up in the chat box, but here's the website. We're looking to raise $15,000. We're at about 9,000. Let's make it up. Let's get up to $10,000 today. All right. I'd really love to see us all chip in, and by the end of the evening, let's get to that $10,000 mark tonight with your love and your support. Let's really go for that. All right. So thank you. And to continue with some of our mid-show announcements, here's Debra.
Thank you, Scott. I also want to thank everyone. This is such a beautiful show tonight, and it's always beautiful when Teresa comes on, but I agree with Scott. I think it just keeps increasing and increasing, and I think it's all of us tuning into this powerful message and being together in the way that we have during these incredible times. So I'm so grateful to all the presenters and Teresa. And to all of you who are with us now. And again, thank you for all the donations, the green love that comes in to support our brothers and sisters in Nepal and India is really important. So thank you so much. And we are going to continue with a season 6. So look out for that. And it's going to be an incredible mix of appreciating the past and manifesting our positive future. And we'd still love your opinions on all kinds of things. So I'm going to put our survey in the chat box, and it's in our email that goes out. So please voice your opinion on what you'd like to see and all the things that we're asking in the survey. Also, we're always looking for volunteers to help us. We have a special social media outreach. And so if social media is your superpower and you'd like to help this grow, please fill out our volunteer form and we'll get in touch with you. And thank you for spreading the word on this. Word of mouth is the most golden of promotion. So we love you telling your friends and sharing our promo video and sharing the emails that we send you. So please spread the word for this. And one more thing, you can actually pay it forward and turn your friends and your family onto a subscription. So I'm going to put that link in the chat room where you can actually give away a gift subscription of Saturday Night Alive. And we've got a whole 6 shows coming up for you still for season 5, Time to Thrive. And we've got an amazing show next week, very powerful. This is something that has been Scott's very precious heart call to do this. And we have an incredible video to share with you that will give you a taste of what you're going to see. So Scott, would you like to share the video and share about what's up for next week?
Absolutely. Here we go.
Someone's in depression. That is a cauldron of transformation. Something is dying and something is being born. Ask, what is being born in me right now in the midst of this death? What is being resurrected in the midst of this crucifixion? What is rising in the midst of this phoenix dying? What's trying to happen? We ask that question. I'm telling you, an answer will come.
We are here to provide support. And that's why we're doing a very special edition of Saturday Night Alive with the Global Peace Tribe on May 22nd. I've invited some of the people I have the highest of respect for to come in and talk about the best tips, tools, and practices for crisis intervention. So please join us. Highlighting our evening is going to be someone that I have the greatest respect for, that I've known for a very long time, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith from Agape International. Also, as my co-host is T.J. Woodward, who is a brilliant author, teacher. He wrote the book Conscious Recovery. We're going to have select video excerpts from Gabor Mate and that wily rascal Russell Brand. We've also invited other leaders in the field, including Roland Williams, Annie Rogers, Leland Holgate, and Jerry Anderson. For our musical support, I've invited people that have a strong connection to these issues, including Johanna Beekman, Valerie Romanoff, and Austin Lillesey. Of course, Debra Guisti and I will be co-hosting along with TJ. So please join us on Saturday night, May 22nd, for a very important edition of our show. Thank you for watching. Yeah, you know, this is probably the most significant topic of a domestic nature that we've approached. And so as a result, in addition to what we're going to be doing on Saturday night, I'm dedicating 2 straight weeks of my Friday night Straight Talk show, 2 straight weeks of my Sacred Sunday show, to going more in depth with the leaders that we're bringing on board to help us. So I'm sure all of us know somebody dealing with depression, alcoholism, addiction, recovery issues, suicidal fantasies. And so these are going to be very important shows to watch to learn how to support your family, or even if you're dealing with any of those things. If you're dealing with those things, reach out to us. We love you. We're here for you. All right. So thank you very much. Yeah, as you can tell, it's very important and precious to my heart. I do want to just very briefly mention the upcoming shows that we have at the end of this season. You know, we do this show in seasons of 13 weeks. And so after our addiction and recovery show, Mark Sims, Whitley Strieber, Alan Steinfeld, and many of your other galactic friends are going to be joining us as we talk about making contact. On June 5th, we're going to be learning all about brain fitness, ways that we can have a much better brain fitness and how that connects to our body. June 12th is going to be a blast. It's the 10-year anniversary of the Harmony Festival kind of coming to a close. Harmony Festival, of course, was what Debra did for 30 plus years. And we're going to be celebrating the 60s and how the 60s impact us today. It's going to be a great show. We've got some really fun people lined up for it. June 19th, our quarterly show on summer solstice or equinox. Matt Kahn is our keynote speaker. And on June 26th, Jerry Anderson, the wild abbot of Mystic Monastery, is collaborating with Jan and Jay and all of us to create a really amazing show on how to build a harmonious future. We're going to bring in mystics and indigenous elders, and it's also going to be wrapping up the World Unity Week, which so many of us are participating in. And speaking of participating, we want to ask you to participate right now in a poll. Now, Debra has sent you a survey which has 10 questions, but we are now exploring what it's like to actually have polls live on the show. And so this is an important one that we want to ask you. And let me go down and find the right one. Here we go. And it's, you know, the show is constantly evolving. And we love our live musicians. And we also started having more and more videos. And we really want to hear from all of you if you have a preference to keeping it mostly live musicians, and then recognizing that when people play live, there are technical challenges. Sometimes there's logistical challenges. And or do you want us to mix it up with kind of equal parts live music and then well-produced videos by those same artists? Or would you like to see us really go more in the direction of videos? So thank you. I see that 27% of you have voted, 99. Oh my God, the votes are flying in. So this is really, really helpful for us. Really helpful. Thank you so much. And this is the J. Mayer Memorial question for tonight. And so we'll continue to ask you all important questions. So thank you everybody for taking the time to respond. You can continue to respond. And I am going to turn it over to Teresa to move us on forward.
Great, thank you, Scott. I thought I would shift it just a little bit and bring on my friend Jennifer Hill. I know that it's late where she is, and I thought that it might be nice to bring her on. Jennifer, if you're available.
She is.
Yeah, I'm so appreciate you saying. I think it's like 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning for you, and you look like a ray of sunshine. I met Jennifer a year ago as COVID hit, and she decided, as we were doing the Global Coherence Pulse, that she was going to do a weekly event, a coalition for global unity, and bring in meditation teachers from all walks of life to support people through the challenges. And I absolutely fell in love with her. She is such an incredible host and guide and thought leader herself. And Jennifer, you really do. Your heart just like shines through your smile, and your thought leadership is really powerful at this time. And I realize with everyone that you interviewed, something blossomed in you that I think is time for us to hear. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you to Teresa and to Scott and to Debra and all of these incredible panelists. I was messaging with Teresa that I've been crying myself as I've just been so moved by hearing everyone sharing their music, sharing their vision, and sharing their hearts. And I'm deeply grateful, Teresa. If it weren't for you, I would not be where I am today, getting to host the show with Deepak Chopra and work with world leaders like Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden, if it weren't for your kindness and generosity. So an open heart begets more open hearts. And I'm deeply grateful to be here with each and every one of you, whenever and wherever you're tuning in. As I reflected today on what I might want to speak about, and on today's topic of each and every one of us being an island of coherence and what we pulse the field, it caused me to think about who are we and who is the world? And as I reflected on this, it caused me to think of how do we react and how do we interact with this world around us? One of my dear friends and thought leaders, Dr. Mark Goulston, once shared with me that there are two ways to interact with the world: that the world is happening to us, or that the world is happening for us. As Bruce Lipton, Deepak Chopra, and many other thought leaders over the last century and beyond have been talking about, we are all energy, and the world and the universe is all energy. And so if we are energy and the world around us is energy, this begets the question, how do we come into greater harmony and coherence with ourselves, one another, and the world around us? I was recently watching a movie called Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, some of you might be thinking it's 4:30 a.m. and why is Jennifer bringing up a Disney movie here on a topic on coherence and what we pulse the field? Well, at the time that I was watching that movie, I had just gone through a major breakdown in my life. I had somebody who I loved very dearly and deeply, and we had a major disagreement. And I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but for me, in that moment, it felt earth-shattering. It felt like my heart was breaking when you have somebody you love. And so as I was getting ready to fly out of Cabo San Lucas to Los Angeles, here I was, and I was really stewing. You know, you ever stew in the wrongness of another person? Because I have this one aspect of me, the spiritual side of me, that says, oh, love yourself, love everyone, be in coherence. And then there's something that just wasn't in alignment with what I thought should be. And I was stewing over this perceived wrongness of the other person's behavior. in comes this movie, Raya and the Last Dragon. I'm double masking it on a 2-hour flight back from Cabo to Los Angeles. And I start watching the movie on my iPhone, and boom, right from the moment it began, it had me. It had me enraptured. The movie began, if you haven't seen it yet, with bliss and harmony and peace and coherence among the dragons, the animals, the people, the world, this beautiful experience. And then comes this evil monster. This evil monster. Now, I have to give Disney credit on this because to my knowledge, I've never seen them do this before. In lieu of the evil, maleficent villain, they actually had an entity, an emotion, a negative ball of greed, of selfishness, of taking energy. And it's this energy that goes out and that it permeates the whole world, threatening to destroy everything until one brave dragon goes out there and defeats this negative energy using this dragon resource heart crystal that she uses to defeat it. And so you fast forward 500 years and the nation, the world is again at the precipice of chaos, just like Bruce Lipton was describing earlier today. And at this precipice of chaos, there's this one tribe that has this resource, this dragon stone that they are there to protect, and yet the other tribes want it. And so they go out and they try to take what they feel is rightfully theirs. And they try to take this stone, and in doing so, they break it into several pieces. And it is this greed that reawakens this monster, this evil monster, this energy of taking that had been lying dormant for 500 years. And so as this happens, it really hooked me. It was that moment. I'm going through my own personal experience and I'm watching this. And it occurs to me that it is this energy of taking something from the field without contributing something in return that creates imbalance, disharmony, and lack of coherence in the world. So we follow this young woman, Raya, on her heroine's journey. She is a young woman who sets out after being betrayed by somebody who she thought was a friend, and she sets out to try and restore the integrity of this resource to save the world. Now, as she's going through this process, at every angle, you see this energy of taking and greed and selfishness that's looming in the distance. And the only thing that is stopping that energy from destroying the world is water. Now, some of you might not know this, but in certain spiritual traditions, such as, for example, Kabbalah, the energy of water is equivalent to the aspect of mercy. And it is this energy of water that is the only thing that stops this energetic monster from devouring the planet. So as she goes on her heroine's journey, and she starts off selfishly at first, trying to restore this stone's integrity to save her own father's life. As she goes on this journey, though, she realizes she cannot save the world alone. She needs the help of the other 4 tribes, the tribes that she thought were her enemies, and she realizes that she can't do it without them. It is at the culmination of this movie where the monster, the energy force, is turning everything into stone that it comes into contact with. And as this happens, the heroine realizes there is only one way to save the world and to save the planet. And that is to forgive the person who she perceived had betrayed her. It is to love and to have compassion and to trust with 100% certainty that all is going to work out. It was at this moment that I started to ugly cry. I don't know if you've ever done that, but it's not the pretty cry. It's like where your face is all scrunched up, and it's one thing to do that in the privacy of your own home. But here I was on a plane 30,000 feet above the ocean, double masking it, surrounded by people, and I am just sobbing because I see in that moment, as I watched her journey and I watched how she is able to save the world through trust, compassion, love, and coherence, it caused me to reflect on my own relationship with my dear friend and how my judgment My perceived wrongness of this person who I loved and adored was inhibiting my ability to love her, to accept her, and to have compassion for her circumstance. I got off the phone, I stopped ugly crying, and I called my friend to apologize to her. Why do I share this story with you? I share it with you because what we pulse the field does matter. One of my favorite spiritual tools that I use is the Kabbalistic tool called the 72 Names for God. Now, these are profound tools. Manose, I was thinking of you when you began speaking at the beginning of how we can help India and others. They have tools for healing, tools for prosperity. And one of the tools that I want to read to you today was the tool called Farewell to Arms. And here's what it says. They ask you to meditate on the letters. You use these ancient letters, these Aramaic letters. And the one for this one is Mem Bet Hey. And again, it's called Farewell to Arms. And they ask you as you meditate on this to reflect on the following statement. Conflict and war among nations begins with friction between individual people. A nation at war is simply the effect of spiritual darkness born of animosity and intolerance among individuals who comprise the nation. As long as brothers or friends can find reasons to clash with one another, nations will devise reasons for bloody battles. All of this energy, just like the evil monster that was in that movie, that energy can be used to destroy. Or when we insert love, compassion, coherence, and cooperation, trust and forgiveness, as Raya did, that energy can be used to build and create. Now, I wish that I had magic fairy dust and poof, boom, all of us around the world would love, forgive, trust, accept one another. Though I understand that this is not a momentary, brief fix. This is a journey that we all get to be on together. In order to reflect love and coherence in the field, first, we have this opportunity to reflect love and compassion towards ourselves. As a dear friend of mine, Arthur Samuel Joseph, taught me, he said, Jennifer, every day we have the opportunity to look at ourselves in the mirror and to say, I love you. You are an extraordinary person and you are doing extraordinary things. And it is only when we do this, it is only when we love ourselves, and I even challenge you, an exercise that I was given to do when I was at one of my darkest moments last year during the pandemic. It came to me in a meditation to write out all of the areas and the things that I had not accepted myself, that I had not forgiven for myself, that I was still judging myself for, and to put my right hand on my heart and to one by one go through and say, I love you and accept you, Jennifer Hill, that you hurt someone. I love you and accept you that you judge someone. And you can write this list for yourself and you insert your own name as you say this. And this is what we are here to do. It is only when we first learn to pulse ourselves with love that we will then be able to pulse the field with love. I'm Jennifer K. Hill, and it has been an honor and a privilege to join you today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jennifer. I love that story. I remember that movie too, and it had me captivated the whole time. I think it's a powerful, powerful story. And we really do. We need to watch what we're pulsing the field and really choose love, even in those moments where we feel most challenged.
Thank
So
you.
beautiful. Yeah. And if you want more of Jennifer, obviously she's on Awake TV in many, many different offerings. She's done some shows with Roland McCready and HeartMath. She has her Conscious Conversations. She's also produced that whole series of the global Global Days of No.
The Coalition for Global Unity. So I did
Coalition for Global Unity. There we go. So there's lots there. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I really appreciate, love you so much.
Love you too, and thank you so much. Sending much love to everybody out there.
Thank you. So we just have a few more things. We have some real fun to be had. I'm going to bring in Manose, and he created a very, very fun and special video during COVID. We played it this morning during our Global Coherence Pulse. We all loved it, and it's going to bring us some love and joy as we begin to wrap up our evening. We'll have Manose. We'll have a few announcements from Debra on some events that they recommend, including the Illuminate Festival with Danette, and then we'll close out with Cornflower. So don't go anywhere because this is going to be fun.
I just want to say a little bit about the
Stop for just a second. Yeah, let him just say something about it. Yeah.
I just, the video, I edited it, I filmed it, and of course my family, my beloved, my daughter, and my friends helped me to dress and stuff. I've been traveling for the last 20 years, and this year, being home, being bored, and that's what I did. So it's all from the heart, and if I can offend anybody, please forgive me. Thank you so much, and love you all, and thank you for your donation and your big heart, your stories. Love you all, and I'm with you 200%. Anything I can do from my side, I'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Manose. Beautiful.
You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. You may be black. You may be blue. You may be white or have no clue. You may be right. You may be left. You may have a flu or singing COVID blues. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. You may be Elon Musk or upside down yogi jars. Maybe fully masked or hang out with nudist class. Or anti-vax, or full of needle track, or high avoiding tax, or eating bean and rice. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move.
You may be Buddhist monk, or hiding cats in your trunk, or always dancing funk, or whirling dervish drum, or computer geek, or culty spiritual freak. May dig your cowboy hat, or guru singing slacks. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. You may be march or dad, or fly your rainbow flag, or colonial king, or starving musician who just cannot sing. You may feel pride, you may feel shame, or feel life is just a game. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. 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 When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. 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 My shoes just a moment, I forgot. Fantastic!
Oh, thank you. That was my daughter at the end, Thank you guys for bearing.
Manose, my favorite part was watching you watch yourself. That was classic.
It's all my personality that coming in.
Thank you, Manose. Thank you so much. And thanks for bringing this wonderful opportunity for us to support the people in Nepal. I think we're like close to 9,500 people or something. And every Sunday on Facebook, you have your 11:11 a.m. So that will be tomorrow also. You're also on the celebration of love tomorrow. So if you want to hang out with this Manose, there's lots of ways to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, I thought there was a mistake somehow.
No, I made that for you. All right, so now we just have two more parts to our show tonight. We're gonna, I'm handing it over to Debra and Scott. They have a few things they'd like to recommend, and we're gonna hear from Danette around the Illuminate Film Festival, which is coming up next week. So the Love Fest continues. So Debra and Scott, and then we'll close out with Cornflower. So stay tuned.
So this is part of the show where we get to share a lot of the incredible resources and virtual conferences that are happening. And I get to bring on Danette Wolpert, who is the founder and executive director of Illuminate Film Festival that is happening next week, starting Thursday. And Illuminate is one of the most incredible conscious film festival that's been taking place for the last 6 years. It happens physically in Sedona, but you can also join virtually. There's incredible luminaries, all kinds of speakers. It's really the state of the art. So I want to bring on Danette now to share about this incredible festival that she's created with an amazing team. Welcome, Danette.
Thanks so much, Debra. I'm really honored to be here with all of you and to be pulsing the planet with love. Oh my goodness. You know, a festival producer usually is running around like a chicken with no head 5 days before their festival starts. But tonight has put me into the highest frequency, and I am feeling so connected to you all and so at peace for this giant festival that we were putting on worldwide in 5 days. So before I tell you a little bit about the festival, I want to share a little bit about the journey of film and what film can actually do for our lives. And this is a little bit inspired by the sharing that I did on last night's show with Scott and Trish. And it gave me some courage because I have not shared this story with very many people, but I feel called to share it tonight. And that is that about 2 years ago, I found myself in the waiting room of a surgeon's office. And I was about to find out what kind of tumor was in my brain. And it was certainly not an easy moment for me. But what I did was I really called out to the universe for guidance. And when I found out it was a tumor that was going to, thankfully not kill me, but it was going to shorten my lifespan, and it was going to prevent me from pursuing and capitalizing on all of my dreams, I really searched and searched and searched for an answer. And I searched in a lot of places, but where I searched the most was in powerful stories. And where I searched the most was in the 5 years of films that I had recently programmed for the Illuminate Film Festival. And from those films, I learned about the body, the mind-body connection. I learned about the power of collective consciousness. I learned about all and every different kind of healing modality. I learned that film can be thy medicine. And 2 years later, I am so happy to report that I'm sitting here before you all 100% healed. And I will tell you this, that although I had brain surgery, the surgeons did not find that brain surgery to be the healing. In fact, they were stumped that I am 100% healed, and I am officially a mystery case. So I share with you that there is so much power. There is so much power in not only film, but all the messages and the teachings and the learnings that a conscious film can share. And it is this, even though I didn't know it was for myself, I started this festival in 2014, and I wanted to share that with the world. I had no idea these films were for me too. So let me share with you our little 1-minute video of the Illuminate Film Festival.
Healing is not so mysterious. It's built into our bodies.
When people can truly see how amazing they are, their light will shine a little bit brighter.
Film and media can really activate and transform the planet.
We can change everything around us.
This film festival was amazing to me.
I'm just really basking in the spirit and love.
I wanted to come here and support the filmmakers. It's a beautiful thing.
This is about a shift in consciousness.
You can't miss this festival. You need to come to Illuminate.
I love that Sedona is doing this.
So I'd just like to take this moment to ask you, what film has been transformative for your life? What film has been a game changer? I just want to say, what if you could put every major film of the last year, the best, most paradigm shifting, life-changing films that address science and spirituality, the environment, sustainability, inspiration, finding your purpose, health, healing, and you could find the top 30 films of the year. And you can watch them all in a week. And you can watch them right before you hear the wisdom teachers and the filmmakers right after the screening tell you really from their deepest being what this film is meant to communicate. And you heard, let's see, we have Deepak Chopra, we have Bruce Lipton, we have Greg Braden joining us, we have Marcy Shimoff, we have Bob Proctor, we have Lisa Nichols, we have all of the wisdom teachers that are featured in the films come and deliver these messages to you personally alongside those filmmakers. We have a conference full of people that are hoping, that are aspiring to make these films. And we have a big conference for them, can share lots of incredible people from the film industry, including, I mentioned Pete Docter, who just won the Oscar for Soul, who, which is a Disney film, which obviously reminded me, Ryan the Dragon and Jennifer Story reminded me of that. And they're all here to support the filmmakers to make more of these conscious films so they can elevate the planet. And they're here to support you and your shining journey of evolution. And that way we can all pulse ourselves with more love and pulse the field with more love. Thanks, everybody. If you want to volunteer and earn some free tickets, go to illuminatefilmfestival.com and just let them know what, let our folks know what you'd like to do. If you'd like to share or market or promote, or you'd like to volunteer in another way from afar, you can earn yourself some free storytelling magic. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Danette, for just an amazing job that you're doing. And I really want to encourage people, watch the replay. It's on YouTube. I've been posting it in the chat box. Hopefully Debra will post it on Facebook. It's an amazing show where Danette goes a little bit deeper into her story. Maya, her senior programmer, is there. And you'll get to see the trailers from 7 of the most amazing films that they're going to do during this festival. I was so touched during our time together last night, Danette. And I'm really excited about what you've put together. I'm looking forward to watching a lot of those movies and, of course, to helping to host your closing night party. God bless you. Great, great work that you're doing. Really great work.
And thanks to all of you. I know many of you are a part of the festival in some way, and I can't wait to celebrate with you.
Don't we have an amazing tribe here, Danette? I mean, it's just each person sharing, Kristin, Hoffmann, and Manose, and everybody. And I want to thank our sponsor who just popped on. She doesn't know that I'm going to do this. So, but Wendy Grace is who's sponsoring this show. And she has sponsored several of our shows. She makes this happen. And there she is in Maui. And Wendy, we love you so much. And thank you so much this has been an incredible show. Just so heartfelt and a lot of tears and a lot of love. And truly we are pulsing the planet with love, and your support made it happen. Thank you, thank you, Thank you. Everybody, let's twinkle. When I'm going to go to gallery view here. Let's all
twinkle back.
Let's all twinkle.
I'll twinkle, everybody.
We'll all twinkle.
I want to twinkle too.
Love you, Wendy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. So a couple of other things that we want to just let everybody know about. Every Sunday morning, I do a show called Sacred Sundays with Friends. And tomorrow we're going to have a deep dive with our dear friend, Danien Brinkley. You'll recall that Danien was on the show a few weeks ago when we had a show dedicated to death, dying, and near-death experiences. And tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern, Danien is going to demonstrate how we can connect with loved ones on the other side. I've watched Danien do this. I've watched him work with people and actually take them to a higher plane of existence. He's an amazing human being. He's a lot of fun. He's very playful. So please do join us. Debra will put into the chat box the link, because it's best if you really want to participate. It's going to be a very participatory morning, or day, I should say. Come on into the Zoom room with us. And Danien asked that you bring a bowl of water, a pinch of salt, and a photograph or a keepsake from the person that you are wanting to support. Then the last thing on our Global Peace Tribe Recommends is that next weekend we are starting this incredible series of programs all about dealing with addiction, recovery, alcoholism, depression, suicide. So please join us for Straight Talk on Friday night. Of course, the Saturday Night Live show where we're going to have Reverend Michael. We're going to have Reverend Michael on Straight Talk also, actually. And the Sacred Sunday show where we're going to focus on crisis intervention and suicide prevention. So please do join us all next weekend. And again, this is why it's important for you to register, so we have your email address and we can send you through the week a couple of announcements letting you know very specifically what we're going to be doing. And I'm actually going to very briefly, just so we can all twinkle him, this is our sponsor for next week's show. This is Jerry Anderson, that wonderful wild abbot of the Mystic Monastery. And once again, I'll go to gallery view. Let's all twinkle Jerry, who's making next week happen for us. Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you.
So fun to watch you tonight, Jerry. You've had so much fun and have enjoyed this show so much. I've been loving watching you. Yeah.
Jerry's awesome. And as she pointed out, Jerry is someone that you'll see every week. He's dancing to the music. He's moving and grooving. He's just a very, very bright light. So thank you. And the very last little piece here is I do want to invite everybody, please do donate to the GoFundMe for the fundraiser. And I will announce one more time tonight, at the very, very end of the show, all the new people that have donated. Come on, let's really kick that thing over. Let's see, it was at 88.90. Let's see where it is now. It's at 93.87. I feel like Jerry Lewis. I'm channeling Jerry Lewis. Let's bring in that another $700 and top it past 10,000. All right, let's do that, everybody. And I want to thank everyone for their donations. It's really, really important. Our dear Debra is putting it into the chat box right now. And as you donate, we're going to play a wonderful video by Jay and Jan, all about gratitude. So while you're watching this video, it's a good time to donate to the GoFundMe. Here we go. Hey, that light touch video worked. We just got a $1,000 donation that put us over the top, past the $10,000 mark. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a beautiful tribe we're a part of. Absolutely beautiful. Take it away there, Teresa.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for such a beautiful evening. And I really want to encourage you to come and join the Global Coherence Pulse that we do every month. And next month with World Unity Week, we're going to be pulsing the field every day at noon. So it's an opportunity for us to really deepen our practice. Debra's put some links in the chat. And if you want to connect in with a community of people who are choosing to cultivate greater coherence and to become an island of coherence, join us in the Islands of Coherence. Many of the presenters, many of the organizations are all in there, and we're coming together and we're collaborating in a new way. It's a great playground. So please join us. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who added their love and their joy and their wisdom to the session tonight. And we're going to end this with Cornflower, just like we started. And let's, as we're listening to Cornflower tonight, let's take all of this love and joy that we've been feeling, even the tenderness and our heartache, and let's pulse the planet with our love. Cornflower, I love you so much. Thank you for closing our evening tonight.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you all for being a part of this event. It is such an honor to get to open and close with the music. And so let's not fool around here. Let's drop right in, and hopefully you will join me in moving your body.
monsters go.
Mm.
Woo!
Mm. Mm.
Fantastic!
Woo!
Amazing! You're a miracle!
Woo! All right.
Woo!
Cornflower, you're a miracle. I love you.
Oh, I love you all so much.
If we believe that a small clusters of people living in coherence and pulsing the planet with love can help shift the system from a world fed by fear to a world led by love, which we all said that we believe, then what we did tonight was a gift for all of life. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Let's keep it up.
Thank you, Teresa. Big twinkles to Teresa. For an amazing show. Amazing job.
Thank
Great
you to
job.
everyone. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Get a good night's rest. Come on back for Sacred Sunday tomorrow morning, or for the celebrations of love, or all of it, or Manose on Facebook at 11:11. We have so many wonderful offerings, don't we?
It's a love
Also on
fest.
Sunday
It's a
at
love
12.
fest.
It's a love fest.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Blessings.